Hello and welcome to NeoEnglish, the podcast where we help you learn English using real news stories. Today, we're talking about Laura Kuenssberg. Will strategic defense review meet the threats we face? This story is about the UK security and how they prepare for danger.
That's right. First, let's explain what a strategic defense review means. Strategic means planning something important, often for the future. Defense is about protecting a country. Review means to look again or check carefully. So, a strategic defense review is when the government looks at its plans for keeping the country safe.
Good point. For example, if you check your homework before handing it in, that's a review. If a country looks at its army and plans, that's a defense review. Now, Laura Kuenssberg is a journalist for the BBC. She's asking if the UK's new plans will really protect people from threats, that means danger or possible problems.
And speaking of threats, let's explain. A threat is something that could possibly hurt you or cause trouble. For example, if a storm is coming, the bad weather is a threat. Or, if someone says they might cause harm, that's also a threat.
In the story, Laura visits a secret place in a quiet town. The buildings are grey and cost a lot of money, many hundreds of millions of pounds. Inside these buildings, just a few workers are doing very important jobs to help protect the country.
That's interesting. The story also mentions potential pitfalls. Potential means possible, and pitfalls are problems you could fall into or mistakes you could make. So, potential pitfalls means problems that could happen in the future.
Sometimes, if you're walking in the woods, a pitfall could be a deep hole you can't see. Or if you don't check your test answers, a pitfall could be making easy mistakes.
Laura Kuenssberg looks at whether the government's review will help stop threats and avoid these mistakes. She wonders if the plans are strong enough, or if there are some hidden dangers. Those are the potential pitfalls.
And she finds this all out by going to these very secure, or safe, buildings, where people work behind fences. Secure means very safe from danger. For example, if you lock your door at night, your house is more secure. Or, if you have a password for your phone, your information is secure.
Let's recap some vocabulary from today's story. Strategic, important planning for the future. Defense, protection, usually for a country. Review, to check something carefully. Threat, possible danger. Potential pitfalls, possible problems or mistakes. Secure, safe from harm.
Now, let's use these words in a short story. Imagine you are in charge of protecting your home. You make a strategic plan to keep your house safe. You review your plan to make sure you didn't forget anything. You lock your doors and windows so your home is secure, because you want to stop any threats, like burglars or wild animals. You also think about potential pitfalls, like forgetting to lock the back door.
That's a great example. If you use these words, you can talk about news, but also be prepared in daily life. For example, at work, you can review your tasks. Or, at school, you think about potential pitfalls when taking a test.
So, in Laura Kuenssberg's story, she's asking, will the UK's new strategic defence review really keep the country secure from threats and avoid potential pitfalls?
Remember, learning English with the news helps you not only understand events but also use useful words and phrases every day.
Thanks for listening to NeoEnglish. If you don't want to miss your daily news and new words, subscribe to our podcast.
Goodbye, and keep learning with NeoEnglish.